we're going to Arkansas. So we just dick around like when it takes us like a couple days to eventually find our way to actual Dallas, Texas, and we only have 3 days to actually track this dude down rather than the 6.
Texas saws.
Texas.
I got it at a place called Texas.
One of you just roll a d20 and let me if it's under 10, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's under 10.
Okay, so you guys a couple of hours in stop at a gas station to pick up gas, and Steve apparently is a little bit chatty while he's inside paying for the gas. Or no, back then he's probably chatting with the guy who's pumping the gas. He's just like, "Where you guys heading to?" "Oh, we're going to Texas." "Yeah, check it out, Dallas." You know, Dallas is the other direction, right?
What? What are you talking about? No, we're supposed to be going this way.
You follow the bright blue line. That's how that works. Like, no, that's such and such highway. That's going to take you all the way up to Washington and then to Northern California. It's definitely not going to go anywhere near Texas.
What? That doesn't make sense. Pull out the map, throw it in front of him, and he's like, and does the typical cartoon thing of just turns it upside, because I've been reading it upside down the entire time.
Yeah, it's just like, no, you want to go this way, then transfer over to this highway, and then you'll get there in about 10 hours.
Good thing gas is cheap back here.
So you have at least gotten pointed in the right direction. And even if Steve doesn't want to admit it, it's a guy pumping gas next to the car. And there's not really good music to blare. So I assume Robin overhears that as the driver. Unless you're too busy doing your makeup in the rear view mirror as you sit there waiting for the gas to get pumped.
She didn't bring any makeup. She's all natural.
No. By doing her makeup, he means she's literally just applying illusions to her.
Gotta look good. So now we gotta turn around.
Yep.
I mean, is there any other decision? Turn around and just drive back?
Towards Dallas.
Or we could keep going forward and we'll circle all the way back around eventually. You're right. Let's just turn back. Let's just turn around.
I think even Robin knows it doesn't work like that.
What is it, Simone over there in the back just like, but we're only 12 hours away from Vegas then?
I'm trying to find a way to make my power useful in this situation. Because this is the first time I've had liquor in a while. And I can finally maybe use my power. But there's few people that I know, few relevant places I've been, and topics as of yet seem to be completely useless.
You don't want to check out what Graham's up to?
I was like,
Oh no, Pappy's going in for a little mouth hug. No, abort.
what are the odds I've ever been to the book depository? I spent one day on the grassy knoll. See, that's all I really know about the assassination. I couldn't tell you where he was in the time leading up. Even any of his friends or accomplices. Did he buy the gun just before the attack, or is that a gun he had? From what I understand, it was a left-handed gun, which was weird because he was right-handed. And it was where did he get this gun? It didn't fit.
It's almost like you should have taken more time between jumping into time travel. Richard is never going to trust you again.
To be fair, I'm more surprised that Richard's plan of, okay, we're going to change history by getting Lee Harvey Oswald a date. I'm more surprised that got cleared then.
Yeah. Yeah, like not even 3 agents, like 3 jerk-offs with the whole, like, history on the line. And the dude didn't even Google that old boy was married.
He ran the math. Who do you think keeps reinforcing Lee Harvey Oswald's communistic ideals? It's Miss Oswald.
Sometimes with the D4, it's if you do it gently enough, it'll just slide down the stairs on its one fat side.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, it tumbles mostly. So it's nearly impossible to get one to just slide down without tumbling, which is actually, obviously great.
Mm-hmm. Good, because you're always trying to find a way to cheat. Even when it comes to rolling dice, you're still trying to find ways to cheat.
This is the guy that did the saltwater testing on a bunch of dice to find the one that came up 20 most often.
I'm going to say this every time he says a bunch of dice. I measured 2 dice. 2 dice.
Yeah, and when you found one that was like, oh, it measures up on 20.
One hit ones and one hit 20s. I don't know why, but that's just how they manufacture them.
So then he had to stop. Then he could stop going through all the dice. Oh, don't go. I don't have to buy another pound of dice. I already found the one that works.
No, I have no idea what the drawbridge purpose of that is. I didn't even know that was a part of it.
Right, it's kind of cool, I guess, but one, yeah, like I said, it's difficult to actually get it up, and then when you do, it's like,
what purpose does it serve?
And it doesn't even stay, like, you can't really, sort of, but like, it's even got like, but it does have like a full moat kind of arch.
Mm-hmm.
Does the drawbridge fit when you lay it down?
Right, well, I mean, no, because it'd be like, you just have to put it down. And like, the dice compartment is here, which seems to be not even at all connected to the...
Then it's just a cool little
Yeah,
thing.
it's just a cool little thing to fuck with, which is cool. Like, but like I said, I might even tie a string
for ADD people.
I was just thinking today I need like a Rubik's Cube on the coffee table because I wouldn't be able to solve it, but just something for me to fuck with.
They're not that hard.
Right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't do it in one sitting. But
You only have to learn 12 things to do it.
Yeah, from what I understand, once you learn like the basic moves, then it becomes more about like
there's-
muscle memory and
There's
shit
12
like that.
algorithms. So all you have to do is get it to a very basic version where you have a T on one of the corners, and then you can pretty much just solve it from there pretty easily. Hooray, algorithms.
Yes, hooray.
So what we doing?
Is dating Lee Harvey Oswald a topic? If I focus on the idea of I like that man, Lee Harvey Oswald, and I want to date him, would I come up with maybe one of the females who may or may not have a crush on him? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find a way to make that topic thing
Sexually
useful.
aroused by Lee Harvey.
Right, like the topic of being attracted to Lee Harvey. Is that like that topic is a hard thing to nail down for me, but
I think the only way you can figure it out is to experiment with it.
boning Lee Harvey Oswald. And I'm drunk, so that's fine.
God.
Who wants to fuck this man?
Is that close enough to a topic?
Sure.
Should I roll anything? 'Cause...
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 2. Plus my awareness is a 3.
So you just feel like you got a hangover.
So many people want to bang Lee Harvey Oswald.
To be fair, with that role, it could have even been just one person, and you would have been like, I can't.
So I'm like wasting my time in the back seat while you guys may or may not get us to Dallas.
Yeah, apparently.
All of a sudden, you guys just start hearing retching noises. Like, if you puke in the back of this car, I swear to God, Simone.
I'm like, what do you care? It's not our car.
You're the ones that got to drive in it for like 10 hours. I don't think you want vomit in the back of it.
Do we still fail if we stop the assassination in a different way? Because didn't they say something about, like, he ran tests and even other methods are not acceptable?
Yeah, so there were other tests that he ran. Like, he ran a lot of numbers and things, and according to him, he had said something about, like, this is the one with the highest probability of likelihood of actually stopping it and not just postponing it and somebody else doing it later. And
Right, because if we, like, tip off the CIA or whatever, it'll just postpone the assassination.
well, it's not like you can say, hey, this guy's going to kill the president, and then they can arrest him like 2 days
You know,
beforehand.
like, make a bomb threat or something silly. You know how it goes. But, you know. And in time travel movies, it's like, we don't care. You say whatever you want. We're not going to change.
Who keeps calling this number?
So, to Dallas. I guess I'm going to save what liquor I've got because it doesn't seem to be a point for me to use it just yet.
Aside from the fact of, I have been dry for so long.
Nobody wants to bone Lee Harvey.
Then you start thinking about, and then in your drunken state, you start thinking about who wants to bone Simone Play and still get feedback of nothing.
Or what did I say? We were going to take a bunch of 60s money and go bury it.
Which, what good would that do?
Now what you do is you take your money, you put it in a big mayonnaise jar and bury it out in the backyard.
You know what real geniuses do is they go out to where there's going to be a music festival in a couple months, bury a bottle of vodka in where the crowd would be, and then wait for the show to start. Then they're out in the crowd, they dig up their bottle of vodka. They're the only one out there with free liquor. That's genius.
Why wouldn't you just bury a bunch of 12 packs?
I mean,
and then set out your blanket over top of that, and then start selling singles for like half the price that they're selling bottles.
In theory, you could bury whatever you wanted at that music festival. Just dig it up during the concert. Yeah.
So long as it's not like a Fred Durst concert where everybody's gonna tear shit up anyway. That's still the weirdest thing to me. Like, they had a music festival where he like first started to get demonized, and they like banned him from the music festival.
Like 30 years ago, right?
About 20 years ago. They banned him from this whole music festival that was like because when he was singing "Give Me Something to Break," or it was "Break Shit," people started tearing pieces off the stage.
Yeah, literally destroyed the whole place.
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
And it's just like, how could you blame him for this? Like,
if you've ever been front row at one of those kinds of concerts, those people are just animals.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the people are animals. How are you gonna blame just Fred Durst for that? However, Fred Durst was a genius in that he had a very specific contract that people had to use if they wanted to use his music in a video game. So if you wanted to put Limp Bizkit music in your video game, you had to put Fred Durst in the game.
I remember you telling me about this before.
That is odd.
Yeah, so there's
I can see how that would really work for like maybe a pro skater game, like a Tony Hawk game, but
Oh yeah. There's a ton of games from the PS2 era that just have Fred Durst in them as a playable person.
that's a good way to negotiate terms. I want to be a video game character.
Oh yeah, he's in all sorts of shit because if they wanted to use a single song, he's like, you gotta put me in as a playable person. Fine, sure, I guess.
But this is Banjo Kazooie. Did I stutter?
I don't even know any of his songs you could put in a banjo game.
I'm just thinking of like.
There's not enough kazoo in any of it.
There's a surprising lack of kazoo in most Limp Bizkit songs.
Yeah, you would think that he'd find a place for it.
I may write a letter.
Yeah. I'm going to have to send a few strongly worded emails. That's
Dear
just not-
Fred Durst, clears throat. Like,
Who do you think you are?
how do you spell ahem?
AHEM.
Oh, thanks, guys. I didn't expect an answer from all three of you, but apparently I'm the only one here who doesn't spell ahem in his emails.
Well, yes, and you have to put the two little stars after each side, so that way they know that you're
That it's an
ahemming.
action, not
Yeah.
a.
Or you could put it in italics as well.
Ahem, per my last email.
Per my last 32 inquiries. Just extending curiosities as to why there is no kazoo in any of your 622 tracks that you wrote during your time with, quote, Limp Bizkit, or any of the 34 tracks that you made while under the pseudonym of... What's the other band that he did where he sang for real?
I think I know him as a single artist and as Limp Bizkit, but I don't know.
Because he was part of another band where he would like actually sing, and he was actually good at it. Is it Breaking Benjamin?
Pretty sure not.
Because that's a different group, I'm sure, altogether.
God, this is gonna kill me.
Fred Durst. This silence brought to you by Fred Durst. The chocolate starfish.
Yeah, the only thing I'm finding is Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I think he did a couple more musical covers, but I think he still did them under the name Limp Bizkit or Fred Durst. But
Weird. I could have swore
because I know he did that Behind Blue Eyes cover.
that's what I'm thinking of.
But like,
I thought he did more
The
than
album
that.
cover for that, I believe, says Limp Bizkit on it. So it's
Oh, I thought he did it under a different name because he was like, he did that cover and a few others, and people were like, wait, he didn't auto-tune this. He can sing? The fuck's he doing?
he can slash your ass with a chainsaw. That's what
He did
that's
it
what he's
all for the.
about.
Well, he does it all for the nookie. Dude, I love Limp Bizkit.
I really only know the one album, but it's that album that I would like listen to over and over again in school, and it was just amazing at the time.
I think the reason I love Limp Bizkit the way I do is just because, like, the Xbox 360 would allow you to put CDs in, and you could download, like, rip the tracks off the CDs.
Oh, even the basic Xbox did that, right? Because I think I remember doing that, like saving some of my CD songs on there.
So you
Yeah,
could in
the
the basic
basic
Xbox,
Xbox,
but
yes.
in the Xbox 360, you could play the songs while playing games.
That was huge.
Over
I remember
top of it.
buying the PS3, and I asked the guy at the GameStop, I'm like, does it play music while I'm playing games? And he was like, whoa, I don't think so. That's a bit crazy.
And I think the PS3 eventually introduced it, but the Xbox 360 had it, and I didn't have, like, I wasn't buying CDs at the time, but my my nephew, on my step nephew, I guess you would say, his dad would just kind of give him his old shit, and so it was just like old Eminem, like really early Eminem stuff and Limp Bizkit shit that just all of a sudden was downloaded on my Xbox 360 when I'd go back to my dad's place. And so I'm like, oh, let's play some Modern Warfare. And then I just turn on the music and be like, what's on here? And it's just Eminem and Limp Bizkit. And so I'm just headshotting dudes while I'm listening to, him going at it like a chainsaw.
Yeah, there's some really violent raps on there, so it does fit in at least.
He'll tear your ass raw.
Oh my god.
Also, Dusty, why did you look so worried when you sat down? You're just like, you sat down, you like look left and right, like was.
Oh, you saw that? I do too many facial expressions. Well, I walked into the other room to fart
And shat yourself.
and then,
Yeah.
no, it's just that when I sat down, I whiffed it, so I was like, oh no, it followed me. That defeats the whole purpose of doing it in the other room. And so then I kept checking to see if Steve was gonna be like.
He sat down and then he just starts going like side eye, just a cat, and Steve just, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
It followed me.
I was wondering if it followed you because everybody heard it, or if it was one of those
Well, I
things.
knew you guys heard it, but I was like, at least doing the favor of not in this room.
I was wondering if you just walked into the other room, sat down, and then you were like, "Oh, that was more than just a fart." Does anybody know?
Does anybody know? Do
Did
they know? As I like clearly am checking myself.
Yeah. Did they hear the squish in my pants?
Is the mic picking that up? Yep, that's Dookie.
Oh my god.
That's why I was like, "Are you good? You need to go home and change your pants out."
Oh, wow.
Just had to be sure.
Thanks for checking up on me.
Well, it was a little concerning.